To Canadian Mortgage Weekly. Today is August 5th. It's 11:33. I'm starting a little bit late today, but thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. We do not have Joe in with us, so you'll have to bear in mind that he's not here, but I have an amazing episode for you guys today, episode 33. I hope everybody watching is doing well as we're working into lockdown starting to ease up a bit. Moving into the fall, I'm starting to see in a lot of stores that there's fall things are coming out. I saw on Bayfield Street in Barrie, the Halloween, the Spirit Halloween store is getting ready. So we're definitely in a transition period, and there's been a lot of talk about what the fall is going to look like, how busy it's going to be for mortgages, or even just housing in general. And we have definitely heard from many different sources that the fall is going to be super busy, and even busier than we saw in spring. Which spring there was, if anyone was looking to purchase a home and was actively looking at properties and seeing how fast they were selling on the market, it was crazy this spring. So the fact that they're thinking that fall is going to be even busier, it really does highlight that now could be a great time to get into the market. There was also some realtors that we've been chatting with who are saying that by the fall, housing prices are said to increase an extra possible. We were hearing earlier in the summer about another 15% by the fall, so in an accumulation of those months. But if that does happen, we might actually be seeing a really nice pocket to get into the market. The rates have remained low. A few of the lenders with the variable rate dropped a little bit with a few of our lenders. So a lot of people are actually suggesting that this is a great time to get started in the market, to get working towards owning your own home. And I think that term gets thrown around a lot, like, oh, you should get started today. You should start looking at your mortgage, start looking at an application and approval, all of those things. And I think, my role, sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. Sam Thompson, mortgage agent with Joe Bladdock. And I do a lot of the first-time home buyer webinars. So my role in the office a lot of the times is to work with the new buyers, people who are wanting to get pre-qualified, getting a pre-approval. Recently I've been doing a lot more refinances or second purchases or things like that. But I really do enjoy the aspect of getting to educate people on what the home buying process entails. So definitely a lot of people don't really know where to start. And again, as I was saying, there's thrown around a lot that oh, you should get started, if you're talking to family members and they're seeing that prices aren't, everything's selling closer to list price. It's not going as crazy as it was in the spring where it was leagues ahead of the listing price. So you might be being told right now, like, you should start looking into the market, get started. So I thought it would be a really good idea to just chat about what that process looks like in getting started. It's easier said than done. There's lots of, Rate Hub articles, Rate Spy articles, a lot of these rate websites that give you some tips and tricks. But I thought it would be great, while we're in a pocket where we're seeing it could be really beneficial to get into the market now, just to cover off what getting started actually looks like, what you can expect, what kind of conversations it looks like, and just to give you guys an idea of how the process works from a starting position, because we know that, once you get further, we've covered the home buying process before on our show, but I thought I would just go through really what it looks like when you're chatting with our office, as well as exactly what that process looks like. So I do have a presentation today just to share a bit of information that I think could be really valuable, especially if you are a first-time buyer and are looking at getting into the market. So you should be able to see my screen now. So ready to get started. Here we go. So the biggest thing is knowing where to start. So many are unsure, how do I start the process? Do I have to, meet during banking hours? Do I have to take time off work? Is a phone call sufficient? Can I email you? A lot of people don't really understand, how it works, what the process looks like. So knowing where to start, it breaks down into, I've broken it down to a few different categories. So understanding your budget, knowing, what your income is at, roughly what, sort of the market average is for what you're looking to buy, as well as maybe sort of setting a goal of this is sort of my dream, not necessarily dream home, but this is what I would ideally want in a purchase. Chatting with a mortgage professional, I'll cover off, what that looks like, how helpful that actually is. First time webinars. We are also having a first time webinar tonight. If you are a first time home buyer, reach out to us and we can get you the link to that webinar. I'll be chatting about the grants, rebates, incentives, everything that's available to you as a first time buyer, as well as covering off the whole mortgage process, why to use a broker, all of those things. It's a really great segment. It's only about an hour. And then we do open it up for question and answer, where we usually get a lot of really good case specific questions that maybe you've had that you can't find on, a Rate Hub thread. We would love to chat through that with you. So if you are interested in joining the first time home buyers webinar and you're watching this video, either comment on the video or even send our office an email at joe@joebladdock.com and we will make sure to get that link sent out to you. And knowing where to start, again, booking an appointment to get pre-qualified. So let's jump in first of all of just understanding your budget. It's important to know, going into it that at a minimum, all first-time buyers, second-time buyers, whatever it is, you will need a 5% minimum down payment if it's going to be your primary residence. So this is an important number to keep in mind as you're looking at, what house prices are. Knowing the costs that are involved is going to help you, sort of get to think about how much savings do we have? Do we have enough for a down payment? Do we have that 5%? But also knowing, do we have closing costs? This sometimes gets missed. And it's not until maybe you've submitted your offer, we're working through and realizing that, you don't have 1.5% of the purchase price saved to cover your closing costs. So closing costs, it's an accumulation of, your lawyer fees, land transfer tax. So the rule of thumb and what lenders are going to look for is at least 1.5% of the purchase price that you have saved. Now, if you are a first-time buyer, there is a land transfer tax rebate available, which will cover, a chunk of those closing costs, but you still need to prove to the lender that you have those funds available. Looking at your income versus the house price average. So in our office, what we use as a very general rule of thumb, the increase in stress test did make it a little more challenging, or sorry, not challenging, a little less accurate. But if you can take your household income and multiply it by about 4.8, that should give you an idea based on, low or minimal debts, what you should qualify for. So that's, it's a great tool to understand sort of, this is where I land in the market based on my income. And, from there you can start looking into, well, how much will I need for a down payment? How much will I need for closing costs? And it's important to note, because I think some first-time buyers also, they have a perception or an idea that as long as they have assets, that will help them to qualify for a home. So having assets definitely makes it good for the lender to see that, you maybe own a home, you have RRSP values or, tax-free savings accounts. If you have multiple vehicles, like any recreational vehicles, a motorcycle, jet ski, boat, any of those things that have value, it does communicate strongly to the lender, but those don't actually help you to qualify for more. What we're looking for is, what's your income per year? We can also use, if any of you are applying with children, if you're earning CCB, Canada Child Benefit, we can use that as part of your household income. And we'll need those amounts plus assets available in, a checking or savings account, tax-free savings account, RRSP. We need to know that there is money that's available. The issue with, I've had a few phone conversations where people are under the assumption that, because they own, maybe they own multiple vehicles, that communicates to them actually qualifying for more of a house. But that's not really the case. It's mainly just your income, as well as, assets that you have access to those funds directly. Looking at your credit is another big thing as well, just to see what your credit score is. This will help you, see if there's any troubles. Anything above 650 is to 650 to 680. Anything above those, you're going to get the day's best rate. Anything that's below 600, it does get into territory that's a little challenging to qualify. But again, looking into what your credit is going to help you understand, do I need to start making some improvements? Have I spread myself very thin? What's my credit score? Just check your pulse on the the credit aspect. So that can be done through Credit Karma. It can also be done through some mobile banking apps, or you can pay to have a really accurate one done directly from Equifax. Looking at income versus debts, how much you're paying each month per debt, it's going to affect what you qualify for. So even car loans that have payments as low as $300 to $400 a month can actually pretty heavily affect what you qualify for at the end of the day for your home purchase. So really the goal of understanding your budget is to start saving if you need to save, or even starting the cosigner conversation. This thing, I don't know how many conversations I've had with people, even if it is a married couple, they're both on salaried incomes, and they're making good money. They're making 70, 80,000 as the total household income between both of them. If you're looking in expensive markets, to get a fully detached home, maybe it has a garage in, Barrie, Newmarket, any sort of surrounding areas where the price is maybe north of 500,000 to qualify for those homes. Even some of those people still need a cosigner just to help increase your income a bit. So starting that conversation, putting feelers out for family to see, is this something you would consider? Those are going to be great questions to have at the start, versus chatting with us, finding you don't qualify for anything, and then having to go back with parents. So it's a really good step just to get the ball rolling. So chatting with a mortgage professional, this is probably the most important first step to make when you're getting started in your home buying process, getting a mortgage, any of those things. The best place to start is with a mortgage professional, because we can tell you exactly, well, approximately what you'll qualify for in a pre-qualification call. So we will look at your income. We'll look at, are you earning any CCB for children that you have? Are you, what savings do you have to put towards the down payment? Do you qualify for any down payment assistance programs? Can we get you through the first-time homebuyer incentive? And looking at all of these factors, and just a really quick, 30-minute call with myself, with Joe, with Terry Lynn at the office, having that chat can really open your eyes to, okay, this is what I qualify for. And the biggest thing, we can highlight issues or problems. If you have, a consumer proposal and you haven't quite done all of the steps that would be required for you to get the best rate, we can highlight that for you as well. Or if you need more savings, you need to pay off, a car loan, or at least refinance it to a lower payment to help you qualify for more. Any problems or issues that we see, we can communicate to you and come up with a strategy to move forward. Yes, educate you on first-time buyer grants, incentives, rebates. There is a ton of money available to you if you're a first-time buyer that a lot of people don't even know they exist, but they are super important to get into the market with. They're really great ways to help you get, a bit ahead on your first purchase so that you can start building equity. We can meet at your convenience. So the beauty of, having all of these Zoom meetings lined up, our phone appointments, we can do it completely at your convenience. So there's been a number of times where I've met with couples with young kids, even at about 8 o'clock, because, they put their kids down for bed at 7:30. So, we chat in kind of hushed voices while the kids are in the back, but we don't have to meet at a bank within 9 to 5. We can work with you to see when you're available and set up an appointment when it's convenient for you. We can get you pre-approved, which will include a rate hold certificate, so that in 4 months, if the rates rise and you find a purchase, your rate is secured at the lower rate. Or even if the rates go lower than your rate hold, you'll get the lower of the two rates on the day. And it is all completely free, especially chatting with a mortgage broker or agent like myself, anyone at our office. We actually get paid directly from the lender or the bank, so you don't pay us anything in the process. Even getting your pre-approval is completely free. So best place to start when you're getting started for your home purchase is to chat with a mortgage professional. So again, just to chat over what we'll go over in your first meeting. It can be done, again, over Zoom. It can be done on the phone. We can look at your timeline of when you're looking to buy. Is there anything in the future that would maybe make more sense to go with one mortgage type versus the other? If you're planning on moving, making sure that there's a portable mortgage or even a variable rate where the penalty is going to be a bit lower. And we can look at your home buying goals. So, what amount are you hoping to buy for? What's an ideal number for you? And then we can develop, a roadmap to buying your first home, whether that's a strategy of, again, saving more money, adding a co-signer, applying for specific, grants, rebates, incentives, looking at what we can do moving forward to help you qualify for what you'd like to qualify for. Excuse me. And it's really important to have handy just some income documents, accurate ones, just so that we can give you the best and most accurate number. So if you have, pay stubs with you or an employment letter, just knowing, I work 35, 40 hours a week at this pay rate, 18 an hour, or knowing your salary amount. Those are going to be really important, as well as knowing assets that you have, any cars, some balances of your RSPs. All those will just make the appointment go much smoother, as well as debts and repayments if you have, any personal loans, student loans, car loans, all the loans. Any of those, is good to have those numbers handy as well, just so that I can give you the most accurate number on our call. Follow-up documents. So once you are pre-qualified, so it's an unofficial amount because an underwriter hasn't looked at it. They haven't given us a pre-approval. They haven't given us a rate hold certificate, anything yet. But being pre-qualified is as close to accurate as you're going to get when you're starting the process. So once we have that, we'll just need documents for a pre-approval, and that's the time. Once you have your pre-approval, you can start shopping and you can move forward in the process. But to get your pre-approval, we'll need some extra documents like photo IDs, SIN numbers, T4s, employment letters, and pay stubs, all those things just to confirm, you're making this amount. And just basically they're all just so that there's no surprises as well. We don't want to, submit a pre-approval without having employment letters or pay stubs and find out, oh, what you thought was actually, 18 an hour is actually only 16 an hour. Likely that's not going to happen, but we want to make sure that when we're submitting, we have accurate numbers given to the lender so that your pre-approval is put together as securely, so that when you make a purchase, there's no surprises. Next steps, once you have a pre-approval, is connecting with a real estate buyer's agent. You want to rely on your own buyer's agent, never the seller's agent. Again, a real estate buyer's agent doesn't cost you anything in the process. It's really beneficial to have them, especially in the market we're seeing today where, prices are high, inventory isn't really that high. There's a lot of searching that has to be done for properties, and a real estate buyer's agent can actually look at some properties before they hit the public market. So they have resources available to them to see properties that, fit your price range, all of those things. And the next steps, once you have submitted an offer, is to get some extra documents. Documents is all your mortgage professional is going to be chatting about, just to get your full approval. So bank statements confirming your down payment, void checks so that we know where the payments are coming from, so that your bank can set up direct withdrawals from that account. And it's a great time to connect with your home buying team. So if you want to know who's involved in the process, from the very start to the very end, check out last week's video that Joe and I did on Canadian Mortgage Weekly. It should be just below this video or on the same page you're watching it now. And we actually cover off all of the people that you'll be in contact with, that you'll be working with for your home purchase. So that includes, getting your own home appraiser, real estate lawyer. If you're selling your home, getting a stager is optional. Life insurance agent. I don't want to cover them all, but setting up your home buying team is going to be great. And there's no better time to set it up than while you're in the stages of being pre-approved, just so that you have those avenues. You've connected with people, before we're sort of on the clock with an approval that, say you only have 6 weeks until closing. You're going to be calling a lot of different people, and you don't want to add extra stress. So if you have conversations, or who you want to go with as your lawyer, or even using the referral of your mortgage agent professional or a realtor, to find out who you want to work with, it can save a lot of stress in the long run. So again, if you want to know who's involved in the process, check out last week's video to see who's involved in the home buying team. So I hope that was it was a very quick pass over of this is what's required. So I hope it was enough information. It was communicated properly. But if you want to contact us at all to get started, have a pre-approval conversation, or sorry, pre-qualifying conversation, see what you qualify for, see if there's any any mortgage specials that are available. There's some cashback mortgages that some of the lenders have on promotion. There's a lot of different things that we can cover with you. And as great as it is, and as great as a resource the internet is for giving you information, Rate Hub is an awesome site to get some information on what's required. But to get a personalized, case specific to you scenario, calling us at 705, not 795, that is a misprint, but 705-238-3479, or emailing us again at joe@joebladdock.com. We would love to start the conversation with you. We can point you in the direction of even some realtor connections that we have in your local area. I mean, we're based out of Barrie, Simcoe, but we do serve all of Ontario. We have connections down in London, down in Windsor, if you're watching from Windsor, wherever you are. We'll try and connect you with a real estate professional to pair with our services. So I will stop the share, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Again, I hope that the information was helpful. I gave you an idea of what the process looks like from the start, what a call with me looks like, or Joe, Terry Lynn at the office. But definitely reaching out to get specific information and numbers to you is going to be your best decision in getting started in the mortgage/home buying process. So I hope you guys have an incredible rest of the day. Join Joe and myself next week, Thursday at 11:30, where we will have episode 34 of Canadian Mortgage Weekly. Every week I comment on it again. It's crazy we've done 34 episodes. So if you've watched all 34, thank you so much. It's a lot of good information. And if this is your first video, feel free to go back and watch some of our old videos where we cover off really important topics for the home buying process, tips and tricks for mortgages. And I hope that you guys all have a great day. And we will see you next week for episode